Alright, so here I am again. I played a little bit during beta, but I haven't really checked out the game since then. My FPS is really low at the moment. 20 FPS. Okay, here we go. Now I'm back to 60 FPS. But I'm gonna go ahead and see. We're gonna try to see how this game has evolved since beta. I don't even remember like the rules to this game. I don't really remember much of this game at all. Okay, so I guess the game is still in technically beta. Wow. But let's give this a shot. Partly recording this because I'm gonna look back on it later on whenever I'm constructing like a tutorial for Zems or for just getting ideas, some things to be inspired by. I know that the general concept of scrolls is very similar to what I want to do with Zems, which is to have positional elements in the card game. Except scrolls doesn't take it to the extent that I do, or that I want to, in that you're still limited to your half of the board, as in you place things on your side of the board, but you can't move them to like the other side of the board, your opponent's side of the board. And so it's more like an initial setup or positioning as opposed to actual movement on a grid. Okay, so choose our deck, order, growth. So this seems like a ramp deck, seems like a burn deck. Yeah. Seems like undeath. So I don't know, I don't remember like a lot of the cards in here. I think I'll probably go for Decay, because Undeath or like death-based decks are always very interesting. They're certainly more interesting than say like order-based decks, I think, which are more based on sort of like combat or formations or just setting up certain things. I like combos that work with zones, like the graveyard or death. So I think I'm gonna switch with Decay. Okay, this is interesting. So where's the tutorial? That's the question. Because I actually don't remember quite how to play. I guess I'd go to Arena, single player tutorial. Okay, here it is. Alright, okay, so I remember the 5 idols. Okay, yeah, that's right. So the resource system is very much like World of Warcraft's resource system, which that game kind of died several years ago, or it was shut down. But I think the design of the game was still very strong. Brian Kibler was the lead designer of it, from what I remember, and there were a lot of good design decisions in that game. The resource system was definitely interesting. So here, choose something to sacrifice. Have 2 these 1-cost things. To sacrifice 1 of these. They use 2D animated sprites for each card, and that's pretty cool. I mean, Zems isn't gonna have that. We're actually just gonna have the card illustrations on the grid. But Scrolls, I mean, Scrolls is, from what I remember, a pretty complex game for how casual it actually looks. I think the big thing with scrolls is that the learning curve is not exactly great, so I had to find the tutorial myself compared to Hearthstone, where I started off with the tutorial and I don't really know where I'm going with this game. So I just completed the tutorial myself, but I had to find the tutorial, and so I wasn't led there. Like it's easy for me to sit here and just get lost. I don't really. So like how this works, this is pretty confusing. There's not even like a help screen showing up, like anywhere. I mean, if I was to be honest, I would say that yeah, this is definitely a beta still, which is quite surprising. It's been a beta for forever now, but I don't know. I don't see where. So if I was not invested in this game, I would not continue playing this game because there's no sort of progression here that keeps me going. Like, I'm kind of lost, and that's something you never want your players to feel. I think that, I guess I'll just do a quick match, easy. Sure. Okay, so the mulligan options were keep cards or draw a new hand, and that's pretty traditional. I think in terms of what most online CCGs are doing nowadays is that you do what's called a partial mulligan or partial Paris, where you are shown the cards in your opening hand, and then you pick which ones you want to mulligan or send back, and then the deck automatically sends you back like random ones or random cards from your deck to replace those that you sent back. And I think that's a more modern way of doing it. Okay, so I can't actually even read this. Probably because Scrolls is not actually maximized on my screen, so I can't see. I have no idea what I just did. As a new player, this is actually very complex because besides the attack and health values, which disappear, so like this is really annoying that they disappear. Eventually I'm just gonna have to memorize them. The countdown is pretty confusing to me as a player. I wouldn't say confusing, I guess. It's just hard to keep up with, and that's the main thing. raid. I think the virus thing is pretty cool. The effect that that like gives a creature like a virus, and then if it dies, it spreads to an adjacent one. So I would say the transition from the tutorial didn't seem to help me that much in terms of learning how to play this game. And I think that's the problem. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like I got much out of it. And I don't think I learned enough to be able to just kind of jump in. And the game is also pretty complex. It feels like once you're behind, you know, the snowball kind of happens and it's very hard to get back into the game. Because I just felt behind, like, the entire game. I also didn't really know what I was doing, but I don't know, I'll give it some time. Maybe have to read up on it, but that's the thing, like, you shouldn't make a game where the player is required to read up on the game. The player should want to read up on the game to get better, not because he feels kind of helpless. But we'll see.